Welcome to my channel Daily Bulletin News. Goodbye, Finn. Hello, Tanner. General Hospital's loss could be days of our lives' gain. There had been rumors out there for a bit, of course, but we'll admit we were all a bit shocked when Michael Easton announced that he'd filmed his final scenes as General Hospital's Finn. The good doctor had been in dire straits for a bit, but that didn't mean he'd be heading out of Port Charles. But then yesterday, he said a final goodbye to daughter Violet and left for rehab. But bad news for General Hospital could be good news for days of our lives. Back before One Life to Live's McBain, Port Charles Caleb/Stephen and General Hospital's Silas and Finn, Easton got his acting start with a 2-year stint as Days Tanner Schofield. And now that he's no longer with General Hospital, it would be the perfect time to bring Tanner back. It wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened, of course. Days of Our Lives, Ron Carlivati was the head scribe at General Hospital back when Easton brought Stephen Clay/Caleb Morley back from Port Charles for an Is He or Isn't He a Vampire storyline, and he's the head writer who brought Harris, Steve Burton's character, out of the 80s for a year-long run in Salem. Harris, of course, just left Salem earlier this week as Burton's been back on General Hospital as Jason. One thing the show would have to do, though, would be connect him more fully to the canvas than they did with Harris. When he was first on the show, Tanner wasn't really connected to any of the main families, but that could always be changed, or at least changed to connect him to one of the families now on screen. Back in the day, Tanner's dad was Vern Schofield, Jack's right-hand man at The Spectator, who briefly dated Jack and Steve's mom, Jo Johnson. When last we saw Tanner, he'd left for Chicago with Molly Brinker and her mom Ginger after putting his mother's rapist into jail. It was an intense storyline, but the opportunities for him to return are nearly endless. After all, half of Salem ends up in Chicago, and in the decades since we've seen him, Tanner could come back to town, having broken up with Molly and gotten together with a beloved Salemite we haven't seen in a bit. Though he was something of an amateur sleuth when he was in Salem the first time, Tanner could return after having taken up the news business, like his dad. Heck, Everett's been MIA with this Bobby business, so The Spectator could use a steady hand to get it back on track. Or what if that romance between Tanner's dad and Jo wasn't as new as we thought back in the early 90s? What if they'd actually had an affair years before, resulting in Jo giving birth to Tanner before handing him over to Vern to raise with Tanner's supposed mom Nancy? That would make him Jack and Steve's long-lost brother. The point is, there are endless possibilities to score a talent like Easton and bring him back to the show that started it all, Days of Our Lives. What are your thoughts? Would you like to see the actor head to Salem? It doesn't even have to be as Tanner. Days has never shied away from bringing actors back as new characters. Right, Everett?